Hi, welcome to Quinn's RC. Today I'm going to talk about the new Torq servos. They are mountless, so they mount directly to the axle. There's the MLS-1024 for the FCX18 and Arctos. There's the MLS-23 for the FCX24 and FCX18. And there's the MLS-25 for the Redcat Ascent18. There's also the MLS-1022 for the Axial SCX24. My first one is going to be a Black C10. It's going to be here in a couple weeks. Let's get started. One of the things about the Ascent18s is that these rails are very narrow. And so most servos with ears hit right here on the chassis. I'm hoping we won't have that problem with the Torq because all of them are earless. It's a very innovative design. The case is 3 parts. You can see the 3 parts here. And that allows them to have different pieces for different style mounts. Hemostats to the rescue. By dropping the shocks, we get a better view. The hardest part of this whole install is lining up the servo, it's hard to see, the servo mount and the links. The little balls in the links really don't want to stay in place. What I found is I got a needle, the longest, thinnest needle I could, and because it's got a point on the end, you can feed it through, and once you have that through there, it's good. You can make sure your drive shaft is in phase and put it back if it fell out. And then I'm going to follow the needle with the screw like this. There it goes. It's a real pain. Now you can take off the axle, but if you want a shortcut, try a needle. It worked for me. I've been in touch with Torq, and future versions will have a little lock nut, but I have this little M2 kit with washers and nuts. I'll put a link to that in the description as well as the other stuff in this video. I'm just going to use a washer and a nut to fasten that for now. Always a good idea to make sure that the servo's working before you go too much further. It's a really nice feature to have the wires coming out the back of the servo. If it's coming out here, you can get in trouble with it hitting the shock or at full flex hitting the rails. I'm going to run the servo wire along the path of the existing motor wire. This is the orientation in channel 1. That's the top channel on the ESC. There's a little excess here. I think I'll zip tie these up just to get them out of the way. Kids are always leaving my stuff in the rain. A nice touch is that you get an aluminum servo horn with the 1025. You want to make sure your car is on. Helps if the battery is plugged in. That way the servo is centered when it turns on, and then you can place the servo horn as close as you can. Might take a couple of tries to center. It's a little bit off one direction, but you can always use your trim to fix it up. The screw for the servo horn is Phillips, so you'll need yourself a tiny little Phillips screwdriver. Ouch! That's quick and strong. Nice. And now that suspension will travel all the way to this butt plate. Here I'm going to put it in a tough spot just to really work the servo. If you want to see the installs of the other servos, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell.